Hi, welcome back to the Cuzzy Sound channel and part 8 in the series all about my little boxes projects. And the little box in question today is the Twang Thang. What on earth is the Twang Thang, you may be thinking? Well, it all goes back to, I can't remember which one it was, but my son and I went to one of the Synth festivals in Sheffield in the UK, and there was a guy there that had this box with bits of piano strings and springs and all sorts sticking out the top, and he was letting people go along and fiddle with this, and it was making some weird and wonderful noises. And we kind of asked him what it was, and it was a bit vague, but it sounded like he'd spent quite a lot of money on it. And my son went, "Oh, that's great! I'd love to." And I said, "I can build one of those, and for nowhere near what it's cost him either." And so I came back and started playing around and put together what is the Twang Thang. And the thing is, it's really, really simple. I won't be giving you a circuit diagram as such for this. All I'll do, I'll open the box lid, show you what's inside, and you'll be amazed at how simple it is. It does help if you've got some effects pedals and an amp to put it through, and I'll demonstrate that in a bit. But also, you know, it's a fun thing. It's something you get the kids involved with if you really want. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Twang Thang, a great little box to have a whole load of fun with, and it costs you next to nothing to put it together. So let's have a look how you put it together. Here is the Twang Thang, a little more up close and personal. Before I get into what's on the top here, we'll lift the lid and have a look inside, because that is where we find the electronics. What electronics there are, very few of them. So essentially the electronics components are these three items here. The main one is this little disc in the center. Now that is a piezo element, or you could call it a contact microphone. There we go, that's where we are in the picture. That's what one looks like. It's basically a metal disc with the piezo crystal element in the center and two wires coming off. So what I've done, I've literally just glued that contact mic to the middle of the box lid, and I've put some hot melt glue around the wires because it's actually quite easy to tug the wires off these little things. And then the output from that, there's a negative lead goes to the sleeve on a quarter jack, which then is also connected to one end of the potentiometer. The positive from, or the red wire from the contact mic goes to the other end of the pot, and then the middle leg of the pot goes to the tip of the quarter jack. So basically what that's acting as is a volume control to control the output coming from the contact mic into the quarter jack. Doesn't need any power, there's no batteries, there's nothing else. It is simply contact mic connected via a volume pot into a quarter jack. I think the pot I've got on this is probably something like a 10k, but yeah, just find what works for you. It's not critical, it's just a way of kind of attenuating the signal coming from the contact mic. Alright, so that's it, that's the electronics. Very, very cheap, very, very easy. So there you go, that's the volume control, and then that's the output jack. Now what you can see from underneath here is that these are kind of screwed through, and then these are got bolts that go the other way. So the things that are screwed into the top on my version of it, these are kind of the kind of pipe clamps, or people use these for like hanging tools on boards in workshops and things. Very cheap, and I've just simply screwed them down tight. Not quite kalimba, but you get the idea. Very similar to that. This is one of those spring door stops, but it's great. You can spring it, which is a bit harsh, but also it's great. You can got a lollipop stick here. Do these sort of things with it. But then this is the bit on this that I quite like, because what I've done here is these bolts come through, and then we have penny washers. Penny washers are oh, let's undo this one. So I've got wing nuts, talk on yourselves a moment. There we go, wing nuts that clamp things down, penny washer, and then on this one, I'll come to that in a moment, a second penny washer, and then basically the lock nut underneath. But there's plenty of adjustments, so you can drop the penny washers in, and you can clamp whatever you like between the penny washers, and then tighten it up with your wing nut, clamp it nice and tight, and you can put all sorts of, you know, the great thing, I've got a couple here that you notice this is it's a guitar string clamped between the penny washers. You know, you can just have a play around with stuff that you can find, stick anything in there. You know, there's no rule. Well, there's a 6-inch rule, but apart from that rule, there is no. I actually on this I've had this thing connected into it before now, which is actually it's a wire egg cup, but it works great as a kind of a spring. More of that later. So basically what you do is you mount onto the top of your box whatever it is that you can flick, twist, bang, whatever, clamp it up so that you've got nice kind of resonance. And what the contact mic does, it picks up the vibrations on the things that are screwed to the lid, and then goes via the volume control to the output. So I'm going to demonstrate what the output sounds like. So I'll turn this down a second. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking the output from, I'll just show you what's up here. So the output from, this is the output from the Twang Thang, and it's going into, I'm actually using one of the mic inputs on my mixer here, because I've got the mic inputs have a preamp, so I can actually do a little bit of preamplification as well. You'll find we plug these into all sorts of things, and you'll need different levels of amplification depending on what your system is, but basically there should be enough output if you're putting it into a decent either a mixing desk or with a preamp or something like a guitar amplifier. You should get enough output to be able to pick up what's coming out of the contact mic. Right, so as I say, I've gone into there, so I turn some volume up on that. So there we go. We're getting some output. I'm trying to make sure it's not actually distorting on my system. Right, let's go back down to the Twang Thang. So there we go. So as I say, we've got, well, we start with the ruler. more lollipop sticks. The door stop spring. Let's get the lolly stick. Great sound. Tweaking the washers gets me a bit of a thing there. Likes a bit of a poor man's kalimba. But what I have got attached to this, I've got a spring reverb effects pedal. So let's dial in the spring reverb. Bring it a little bit more. There is a percussion instrument. I'm desperately trying to remember the name of it, and it sounds like that. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure somebody will let me know in the comments. But there you go. Of course, you can stick it through all sorts of other different effects pedals and things. But the great thing is, you can kind of, move these things around, move your length of your lolly sticks in and out, tighten them up again, and hit things, twang things, scrape things. It's a percussion instrument, but connect it up to a few effects pedals and you can do some great things. Even better still, if you have something like a guitar interface or some other interface on your synthesizer, like I have, you can connect it up to the synth and then it starts to get really interesting. So before we see what happens when we connect it to the synth, I'm going to show a short kind of jam session I did with this connected to my Project 12 modular synth. But before then, all I will say is there's three electronic components, and then stuff you find in your workshop, or even in the case of the egg cup, in the back of the cupboard in the kitchen. Lolly sticks, rulers, whatever. Connecting them in there, bang them, twang them, scrape them, and just see how much fun you can have. It's dead easy, so go on, have a go, build your own.